It's my first week where I'm mostly back in office, not doing any like serious meetings yet, but back in my email full time, back doing phone calls, and it's so nice to be back. I had a really hard weekend. Sunday, just yesterday, was Mary Claire's 1 week anniversary of burying her. So it was a really hard day. And I looked at Spencer and I was like, I'm afraid I'm gonna fall into a really dark hole if I don't start doing things that make me happy really soon. And so even though I'm in so much pain still, I have started baking as much as possible because baking makes me happy and it relaxes me and it just makes me feel like normal Mckenna and not crazy sad Mckenna, not crazy cut up Mckenna, not Mckenna that almost died and was stuck in a hospital. And so I'm back to work slowly but surely and back to baking slowly but surely, which makes me feel so much better. Just feel like a little piece of me is still Mckenna. I've also been taking all my meetings outside because I love the cold and I love the snow. And I walk around out here, but it's real cold today and tomorrow. It's like the high is like 8 degrees, and so not my best plan. I haven't been in the cold in like 15 years, and so this is my first proper winter, and I need gloves and earmuffs. I am back in my kitchen. After being in the hospital for 5 weeks, the first thing I tried to cook was cookies, and it was a disaster. Halfway through, I got really lightheaded and I was in a lot of pain, and so poor Spencer had to take over and finish the cookies for me. Thankfully, he is a really good cook, and baker, so they turned out great. But today, I've taken back over my sourdough starter. Right after Thanksgiving, I ordered it from King Arthur Flour. It was going to be my holiday activity and project when they're done sourdough. And then, of course, the day it arrived was the day my water broke. So from the hospital, I texted the family group chat and I was like, someone save my starter because it's going to die. And so I have it here. It is in interesting shape. It's alive still, but I think it's really hungry. I need to feed it. And so I was going to start making bread today. It might be too hungry to feed. But follow along on this journey with me because I think it's going to be interesting. My first postpartum pimple breakout. It is covered in a pimple patch. If you ever tried the pimple patches, you have to because they are amazing. They're my favorite thing ever. So we knew it would happen. But here the pimples come as the body regulates after having my second baby. Been feeling a lot of guilt lately. Guilt for being alive, which I know doesn't make sense. Growing up, I'd always heard of women being like, who've lost children, being like, oh, I should have died and the baby should have lived. And whenever I would hear it when I was younger, I'd be like, oh, that's so dumb. Because, you have a family, you have a husband, you have a child, you have, people that need you. And the baby had such low odds. Like, no woman should feel that way. And logically, I'm so glad I'm alive. I have Margaret, I have Spencer, I have all these people. I have my work that I love so much. But every time I think about Mary Claire, I just feel like I should have died and she should have lived. I should not be here, she should be. And I was not expecting this feeling to accompany the grieving and the grieving process. So it's hard. This time too, like when I had Margaret, I was so happy. I was like, oh my gosh, I have my body back. I'm shrinking. I can have alcohol. I can have sushi. This is amazing. But this time around, like every time I have a glass of wine, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't have wine. I'm pregnant. And then I'm like, oh wait, I'm not. So I guess I can't have wine. Or like I had raw meat the other day and I was like, oh my gosh, it's too rare. And I was like, oh wait, it's actually not because I'm not pregnant anymore. I feel like I still am pregnant. It's like my brain hasn't caught up to where my body is at, and it really throws you for a loop throughout the day. I'll reach for her. Throughout the day, I'll reach for her and be like, oh my gosh, I haven't felt Mary Claire kick today. And then I realize, oh, she's gone. She's not there anymore. It happens at least 10 times a day. I will be so confused because I haven't felt her, or so worried. Or I'll be like, why is my stomach so small? What happened? It's so different than when I had Margaret. And all these things have happened, and I just wasn't expecting them. I'm like a person that loves therapy. I've done therapy for so many years. So I really thought that I'd have a really good handle on the emotional aspect that would come from a grief like this. But all these things keep popping up that just keep shocking me. Because it's like, how do you expect this? How do you prepare for this? I don't know. But every time I reach for her, I'm just like, it just like knocks the breath out of me, because then you just remember again, oh, she's not there, she's dead. And it's so hard. It is Tuesday. And guys, it is the first day in 7 weeks where I have worn a bra. I'm just not sure how to feel about it. I'm like, I have not missed you. And I have makeup on. So it is just a wild day already so far. We had my follow-up appointment with the doctor this morning that went, as well as it could. They're like, how do you feel? And I was like, well, I almost died, and then my baby died, and I'm having a really hard recovery. It's like, so it kind of sucks. And they're like, yeah. I was like, yeah. So that's how I feel. We're off to the salon to get recovery, sadness, manicures and pedicures today. And I'm getting a hair treatment because post-hospital hair has just felt so dead. Like the last 4 inches of it felt so crunchy and so gross. And so I was like, can I not get a manicure and get a hair treatment instead? Because my hair just feels like a straw. So hopefully it's going to be a good day, but I've not left the house since leaving the hospital. And then I was in the hospital for 5 weeks. And so I think it's going to be really strange to be out and about. Hopefully it feels really good, but also we're going to be there for several hours. And so I'm just like bracing myself to be social. It's hard to talk to people because it's just like their life has just been so normal, and our lives have not been normal, and our daughter is dead. So wish me luck. It's also 1 degree outside. 1 degree. And I grew up in Florida and California, and this is the first time I've been in a proper winter in 15 years. And I do not know quite what to do. Spencer's like, it's really cold. I was like, well, how cold is really cold? He's like, it's 1 degree. And I'm like, ah. It is Wednesday, and I survived the spa day yesterday. It was so much fun, but it was also very exhausting. Being around so many people and just making conversation all day. It's so different grieving the loss. I've been through hard, sad things before, but nothing like this. It's like a whole different ballpark. And the grieving through it and the getting through it is something that I've never experienced before. So, like, it's just crazy hearing people talk about their life, because the past 7 weeks I've either been in a hospital or I've just been processing the fact that I almost died and my daughter did die. And so people talk about their Christmas and their lives, and it's all so normal. And I'm just like sitting there just like taken aback, like, oh yeah, people's lives just continue to go on while mine just like stopped and then completely changed. So it's hard, but grateful to have nice soft hair that's never been so straight. I hardly recognize myself. And nice new nails, no more red nails, pink. So I feel very like nice and normal and dehospitalized, which is so great. Today I've been catching up on work, kind of getting everything ready for spring wedding season. January is slow season technically, but it's also like behind the scenes busy wedding season, because this is like your chance to catch up on all the work you can do so your spring wedding season is like super peaceful and super organized. And so I've just been like building timelines, building floor plans, getting all the nitty gritty details, nitty gritty, all the details ready. So our spring wedding season is very peaceful. And so now I'm gonna make muffins. So it's a good day. It's a peaceful day. It's a calm day. I got home last night from the spa and like cried for 3 hours. And so I'm very sad today, but all cried out at the same time, which is probably why my day has been so peaceful. Tomorrow, Spencer has doctor's appointments, and so we're going out there and we're going to Target. It'll be the first time I've been in Target in a very long time. So I'm very excited. I'm going to slowly explore the whole store, and it's going to be glorious. I'm taking a walk today. I'm going to try and make it down to Mary Claire's grave, but it's a little bit of a hike in the snow, so we'll see if I make it. If not, I'm just going to stare at it from the distance. Visited Mary Claire for the first time today since we buried her, and I walked over there to see her, which was, I've realized, a terrible mistake because I'm so sore. I haven't been this sore almost since I got my C-section. So I'm so glad I got to see her, but I won't be walking there for a long time. I should have driven. Halfway through, I was like, Mckenna, this is a terrible idea. You're not a movable person right now. You should just be sitting. But it was so wonderful seeing her, not seeing her, but being with her. That's so horrible at the same time. It's just, she should not be in the ground. She should be like at home with us, alive with Margaret. I was talking to my sister-in-law. She has all these beautiful children, and you know, some of them are going to college, and I was just imagining like how sad our lives would be if not one of them was here, because they're all so perfect and special and precious. And I just feel like the thought of even one of them being gone is like the worst feeling ever. I'm just imagining that with our family, because like we didn't get to know Mary Claire, but I'm just seeing my nieces and nephews go off and do these wonderful things. I'm just like, Mary Claire would have gone off and do such wonderful things too, but I just feel like we're just so robbed of that with her. Just being there and standing where she was like, you know, 6 or 8 feet below me was so sad. And like, I know that like I did everything I possibly could to like save her. Like that horrible infection, we'll just insert the name because you know I never know what it's called, it was in my blood. I had an infection in my blood, which I really think that means you have sepsis. I remember when I was being put under before my C-section, just thinking, oh, this is how I die. And it was so, you'd think that when you die, you'd be so like wildly frantic because, you know, I have Spencer to live for, I have Margaret to live for, but I was so peaceful. But I just remember thinking as I was going under, like, I'm not going to wake back up. This is going to be how I go, and this will be the last time I see anything. And then Spencer ran into the room white as a ghost, and I was like, oh shoot, Spencer, he's gonna be so sad. How is he ever gonna recover from this? And then like I was out, but I was like so surprised when I woke back up because I really thought that I was dying. And so, like, I know how much I did to save her, but I just still feel so horribly broken and guilty that for some reason, like, my body just ejected her and did this. Like, I don't understand it. It's like, why did my water have to break? Why did my placenta have to be so terrible? I can have a healthy child. I have Margaret. It's just really, really hard. And I just don't know quite, like, how for it not to be hard. Someone asked me, they were like, oh, how are you gonna find ways to, like, you know, keep her alive in the family? Or they said something like that. And I was just like, I have no idea. I'm just over here trying to, like, not fall apart every 30 seconds. It's so hard. And it's so hard existing. And, you know, we were in the hospital for like 5 weeks, and then we gave birth to her. And so, like, even being out in the real world now with people whose lives, you know, haven't been on hold for 5 weeks, you know, which I'm so glad for them, because, you know, it was horrible. But it's also like coming back to reality after being in a really bad dream. And sometimes I just feel like it really was, like, it never happened. Like, none of that happened, and I'm still pregnant, and everything's gonna be okay. But it's clearly not true. It's just a very weird reality to be in, and I would not wish it on anyone. No one should have to experience this or go through this. It's like the sad parents club whose child has died. It's awful, and it's a sort of pain that I've just never experienced. I've experienced a lot of other pain and grief and loss, but nothing like this. And it hits you in a way that is just shocking. It is Thursday, and we are out and about, and it's my first time being properly out and about since before my water broke, which was like 7 or 8 or 9 at this point, weeks ago. It was kind of crazy. But it feels really good, but it feels really strange at the same time. We're moving very slowly, but it feels good to be out in the wild. We're out and about in the wild.
Look at this, Mckenna out in the wild.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Don't even know what to do with myself.
16 degrees out. It's a warm day in central PA.
Warm, balmy day. I love coming to Home Goods and getting an even better deal than I was expecting. Let me show you my candles. Each of these candles are on clearance for $3 each. What a win. We have made it through another week. Days go so slow, but also so fast at the same times, and weeks go so slow. I got a planner. I've always been a paper planner kind of a girl, and I got out of it the last few years, but I got into it back, you know, the start of 2025. I was like, I'm gonna get back into a paper planner, because I was always the person that, like, wrote everything down in my paper planner, like my to-dos, like everything that's going on. And it's almost like a journal, because you look back on your year and you can just see day by day, week by week, month by month, everything that happened, and just kind of remember it. And so I was doing it last night, and it was just filled with, you know, Mary Claire's 25 weeks, Mary Claire's 26 weeks, Mary Claire's, 27 weeks. And of course, we wanted to get to 34 weeks as long as the hospital would let us get with her, which was like right around my birthday. And so I saw that last night in my planner, and I was just so sad. Today was a good day. We got out and about. It was a lot of walking for me, even though I've walked so slow. I looked for a scooter in Target. They did not have like a sitting down scooter. That would have been a lot of fun for me. But I've never walked so slow in Target or any store or in my whole life, even Home Goods. I was like so pathetically slow. And I made it about halfway through Target, and I was like, I just can't even stay anymore. I have to go sit down. And so I've been really tired ever since coming home, but really grateful to be able to be out and about and not trapped in a hospital. I'm so incredibly grateful for all the outcries. Like, I've gotten so many comments and so many messages and so many kind words from people that I don't even know who have been on this journey with me. But it also makes me so incredibly sad because I feel so broken. And then I get all these comments from all these women, and there's so many of us who have gone through something like this. Um, I've had 3 pregnancies. One of them was a miscarriage. Then I had Margaret, and now Mary Claire. So 2 of my 3 children are dead and in heaven. And I'm so grateful we have Margaret, because coming home to no baby would be so hard. And I've heard of so many women where that's happened. And it just shocks me that there's so many women who've experienced this and so many babies that have died, and we don't have better care for babies and moms. Like, it's just wildly shocking. Like, we're sending people to Mars. We should have a better solution for all of us than this. And so my heart is just broken for myself and my family, but for everyone else. I just never even knew there were so many people in the Dead Children's Club until this happened to me. And so I just like mourn for myself, but I also mourn for every single comment that says that this happened to me too. Because it's just not right, and it's just so sad, and I'm just so sorry. So as we close the chapter of living in the hospital and like trying to get to 22 weeks, trying to get to 25 weeks, we're not trying to get to any weeks now. We're just trying to get to the next day. Let me know what you guys want to see on my vlogging journey. I think next vlog I'm going to talk about, like, what to do if you're like stuck in a hospital for a month, like things to make your stay easier, because Spencer and I really like went all in and like cosified our hospital room, which I think was essential for our mental health. But if there's something you guys want to see, because in this vlog we kind of dabbled in baking just because it's like what I've done to keep my sanity in all of this. But if it's something you want to see, or if there's questions you want to ask me, if you want to know more about my life, comment below and tell me as we kind of go into the next chapter of mourning Mary Claire, but also healing from not only Mary Claire's death, but the C-section and just the trauma of almost dying and being in the hospital for so long. And so thank you to everyone who's watched. Thank you for everyone who's been here so far. And we're all just going to keep going together on my vlogging journey.